everyone, and welcome to Extreme Graphic Tech. My name is Angelo, and today I want to talk with you about something that is like a passion of mine, which is always that I have always been behind pushing in terms of, um, publicity, let's just say, which is reconstructions technique for images, especially now that we have AI. And the reason I push this so much is because I think it's the future, and I think it's a way to get a better image quality using less resources. Games are going to get heavier and heavier, and we need to find better ways to get to the end result without having to process so many pixels, especially because now GPUs are getting more and more expensive, and we need to be more savvy with our money. So having said this, another reason I want to talk about this is because in the comments here in my English channel and also in the Spanish channel, I always see people saying things like, well, DLSS 3 is fake frames, or DLSS 2, I don't like it because those are fake pixels, or checkerboard is not good, and so on. So they always want native image quality, which to me is baffling because I don't understand why people care so much about something being native. Obviously, when gaming, there are reasons for images to be native, like maybe you are editing a video, you're editing pictures or something. That's another story. We're talking about games here. The reason that is baffling is why do you care if those pixels in the screen are created by the game and the GPU or by an AI? The important part here is that what you look at the screen looks indistinguishable from the original image. To begin with, saying fake frames or fake pixels is something weird because at the end of the day, frames or pixels are in theory technically fake because they are nothing else than just a representation of an image using dots, pixels in this case. And a pixel is nothing more than just a dot with color. So if I take a bunch of dots and put them together with different colors, I am going to form an image. But by the nature of it, this image is technically fake. The pixel is technically fake in the sense that if you take, for example, a camera, two different cameras, but they have the exact same ISO, the exact same velocity of the aperture, if they have the same lens and everything else, even the sensor is similar, you are not, and you take the picture exactly the same, you're not going to get the same results. Because at the end of the day, that camera is going to process that image that goes through the sensor and will go through a CPU and to a series of algorithms that is going to produce a final image. And that algorithm and final image has been tweaked by a team of people who maybe think they need to process more the green color than the other camera. So the end image is not going to be the same in terms of colors for both cameras. So which one is the true image and which one is fake? At the end of the day, those pixels may not even be exactly as your eyes perceive them, because maybe the green I see is different than the green the other person see in some shade or some a small difference. So at the end of the day, every pixel is technically fake because it's a representation of an idea that another person put there and processes through something, being your monitor, being your GPU, being something else. So at the end of the day, we accept what we see because it's close enough or as we remember from reality. So if we see something on a screen and it represents something that we know, like a glass or whatever it is that is there, those are just pixels. It's a bunch of pixels, but we say, oh, that's a glass, right? Because the pixels are represented in a way and have the right color that make us see a glass. But at the end of the day, they are nothing more but a bunch of dots. So if you are generating a frame, in this case like DLSS 3, and this is a generated AI frame that the GPU didn't produce, who cares? As long as that frame obviously is good. it's not seem weird. Like if you are playing a Spider-Man and in those frames, instead of a Spider-Man, you see the Hulk or you see a different color of the sky or something else, then that could be a problem. But if the frame you're seeing is not, so who cares? It's the same for things like FSR or DLSS. At the end of the day, what's important is that the representation of the pixels that you are expecting to see is the way you see. So I don't understand why people care so much about native. So because this is something I really like, because I think, this is a clever way of doing things, because you have to think about this. It's so clever and so intelligent that there is a way that takes a smaller image and make it bigger or represents more pixels, and it's still faster to do that than to create a complete new image at the actual resolution. That these are very clever mathematical things that people are doing to try to improve image quality. So it really fascinates me. So in this fascination that I have with this, I always creating, like, try new things. And one of the latest thing I try is to take a 360p image and overblown it all the way up to 4K just to see how much we have advanced. So unfortunately, to achieve this, I had to go through two processes. And the reason being because I would have loved to see what DLSS would be capable of by taking a 360p image and using AI, put it as a 4K. But unfortunately, you cannot do that with DLSS because there are multipliers already established. So if you want, like, for example, if you want a 4K image, the lower that image is going to be internally is 1080p. So you cannot go from 360 to 4K. So to start on 360p, I need to achieve or look for a 720p image. And that's what I did. So I set the game to be running at 720p, but using DLSS in performance mode, which is running at half the resolution, which means 360p. From there, once I got the 720p image, I passed it through Topaz Video AI and took the image to 4K. And just to compare, and yes, I'm going to say this straight away. I don't want. I'm going to ruin the surprise. The final image is nowhere near close to a real 4K because many details are not in there. However, I have to say that the final 4K image that I got is way better than the original 360p image, even than the 720p image created by the DLSS directly. So that means we are getting a much better image starting from a very, very low 360p image. For this, I have used a benchmark, a very short benchmark, to be sure that I am not, creating modifications or doing something different. So I use the Guardians of the Galaxy benchmark. And that's what we are going to be discussing and showing now. Okay, so here we are, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So the first image that you see on your right is a 360p native. That's the original 360p video image. This is not an image, this is a video. We're going to be looking at it. And this is the final result I got after using DLSS to get to 720p and then taking it to 4K using Topaz. And from here, you can, I think it's already obvious that the image is a lot more crisp and with more details, especially if we see this area in here compared to this one. We can see that this one has, the lines are more clear and we can see more, and the textures on the rock on the right is better, and even the letters on this. But we are going to be looking and having on motion. Obviously there is going to be some shimmering, but you can see that the shimmering is a lot less pronounced in this image, right? Because the original 360p obviously is more pixelated, so that creates more shimmering, as we can see here. And yes, it's not perfect, and as we're going to see later, the 4K image is much more clearer. But then we have to understand we're starting from a 360p image and we are going to two AI systems, okay? But I still, if you ask me which one of the two I would prefer to play, if we stop here, we can see how the floor is a lot better, how the system in here is much better, and if we get up close, we can see a lot more details in the left image. This is starting from a 360p, which is, from my point of view, very, very amazing. So if I should select one of the two images to play, I'm sure I will select the left one, even if it's not real 4K, and it is far from 4K, and we're going to see that in a little bit. But between the 360p one and this one, I will choose the left one any day of the week. So by looking at more footage, and we are going to be a little bit more, get a little bit further just to show you some more content. I hope, no, this is the last part of it. Let's just go a little back. So let's see, for example, this part here. You can see this character, right? Okay, so look at the difference. Look how much more cleaner the lines are, how much more defined everything is. We cannot see the details in here, and we can see these details in here. That already shows you, look at this, how much you don't know what this is. This seems like an orange blob, and here we can see that some sort of like feathers or something like that, but it's much cleaner if you ask me. This is another example. Look at this. There is no details at all here, and we are having some more detail in there. Look, this here is something, is one of the things that really surprises me the most. Look at this. We have a blob here, a blob of one color. Here we have something that is starting to resemble, you know, some sort of ornament or something like that, but it's much better and cleaner if you ask me. So let's just watch this closer so you can understand where I'm going with this. Okay, so yes, 4K. Look at this, for example. Look at this. Look how this looks. You don't see anything here. You can still start seeing something better here. So yes, the 4K image is going to be much clearer, and we are going to see that. I have that comparison too. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, if I was going to choose an image, I would choose this one without hesitation. And this one here is starting from a 360p image. So if we can have a 4K fake image starting from 360p that will allow you to have a better quality, but using the performance of a 360p, well, not obviously you're going to lose some by using the AI conversion, but let's just say the value of a 720p image, then, you know, I think it's a good trade-off. Now, if we go to the other one, let's just go here and just start so we can see. So here we have all images. So this one here is the 360p image, the original one. The next one is the 720p DLSS image. So we went from 360p to 720p using DLSS. This, for comparison, is the native 720p, not DLSS or anything. This is the 4K image I created based on the 720p DLSS, and obviously the last one is the native 4K. So yes, there is no discussion that the 4K is much better, but that one is using like 8 or 10 times more processing power than the 360p one, taking it to 4K, fake 4K. So yes, I wouldn't trade off the 4K native for 4K AI, at least at the moment. But you are not going to tell me that you won't prefer this image here instead of the 360p or the 720p one in many cases. So and all of this is because at the end of the day, what is important is not if those are true or not. It's the quality of the final image, not how it was created. Who cares about how it was created? So yes, I know what some of you may say. Oh, there is some artifacts and some stuff. Yes, there are. Remember, the last part of this conversion was done using a video AI upscaler instead of actual internal. But imagine if DLSS updated to be able to take a 360p image up to 4K. It will be so awesome to have something like that, you know, to allow you to go from any resolution to any other resolution and just see how good the results are. However, you can see here, it's really, from my point of view, this end result is much more pleasing than any of the other as an actual image. If this was created using internal 360p resolution by the GPU, it probably won't be as shimmering or as on detail. But look at this. You can see here it's a much more pleasing image. Look at that. You see more details on the face and everything that you will see. Of course, when we compare this against the 4K, yes, we lose. But still, I think is amazing what we're achieving at the moment. Look at this. Oh, you remember this? Let's go a little bit back. This doesn't seem to be okay. There, it's taking a little bit to load because this video is quite big in terms of size. So let's go a little bit back here. Okay, let's go around here. I think it will be good. Yeah. So let's compare all these ones here. You see, the 360p is a blob. You don't understand anything. This one, it seems to start showing something, right? It is something. Then here, well, it's too pixelated and you can't distinguish anything. But this one is much more pleasing because it's not pixelated, it's not alias as the other ones, and starts to look much more like a a good image. Of course the 4K is much better, but this has a lot of merits. It's starting from a very low point. So let's keep watching this very zoom in so we can see some differences around each one of these. Look at this. Look at this. You can see any texture on this one, not much on this one, a little bit better on this one, but here you can see a lot more detail on the floor. And remember, this image is created starting from this one, not this one, okay? And of course 4K, well, 4K is 4K. Look at this here. If we go a little bit back here, we can see I think it's this one. Was this one? Let me just check. So we can see some of the details. This part is quite similar. Of course, it's always dependent on content, but still, I think we have achieved a very good balance in quality and everything else. So essentially, this is what I wanted to show you guys. It was more about, showing you that we can get amazing results. And obviously, what I'm trying to say is if you ask me to play in which one of these, obviously, taking out the 4K, from my point of view, this image is the best one of the bunch. Because it's more pleasing, less alias, it has more details and completed details on them. So doesn't matter that this image, because this one is all real. This one is basically 90% fake. So I will say I prefer 90% fake than this one. Let's remember, let me make a quick calculation I haven't done, but we know that a 4K image is 8 million pixels, okay? So how much is a 360p image? 360p should be let me see. Oh, just a second. Okay. So that's around 460,000 pixels. That's from where this thing is creating all those that 4K fake image. So it's like 90% maybe. How much of a percentage is that on an 8 million pixel? So yeah. I don't know what you guys think, but to me this is amazing, and I can't wait to see what the future holds, because this is a great way to have better graphics and better resolution using the less amount of power possible that can be used for many other things, like, for example, draw distance, which is something that drives me insane in today's game, that you can see things appearing in front of you, for example. So, well, I hope this helps to improve, and also it helps like consoles and all GPUs last longer than they would otherwise. So, thank you very much for watching this. I hope you have liked it and learned something, and well, I'll see you in the next video.